Awesome. Sounds good.
And I'm going to
How's everybody doing?
Doing great, sir.
All right. I'm definitely looking forward to all this Black Friday stuff coming in. That is definitely, we see the most of our traffic come through on those profit generators comes through on Black Friday. So we're definitely excited for everybody and can't wait to see the results. All right, looks like Greg's got us recorded here. So let me go ahead and click to share my screen. Okay. All right, give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. All right, perfect. All right, so today's we're going to be doing part 5 of the path. So today we're going to be mainly talking about website integrations. So in the path, we're having people come to our website and they can go ahead and opt in for more information on a specific program. So what we're going to be doing is actually building that opt-in form that you can put on your website. All right, because they'll be able to opt in on that form. They automatically go into Rainmaker, and then we send them to a profit generator link so they can go ahead and register or pay for our paid trial. And then they book their own class. They go ahead and sign their waiver digitally, and they're getting automatically reminded about appointments to come in. So that way we have someone come in the door. They opted in themselves online. They registered for their own trial. They booked their class themselves. They've already signed their waiver, and they're reminded automatically from Rainmaker text messages and emails to come in. So it definitely helps, speed up the process and get everything automated. So let's go ahead and jump in for the website integration. So there's 2 different ways to do this in Rainmaker. So one, there are some website companies that already have an integrated process into Rainmaker. So you would just contact them, let them know that you're with Rainmaker, and then they make that connection for you. Those would be people like 97 Display, or FCOM. All right. If you're, have a website developer or you made your own site through any of those builders, whether it be WordPress or one of those template, builder sites like Wix or doing funnels through ClickFunnels or anything like that, this will show you how you can make that web form. And then if you're doing it yourself, you can just copy and paste that code and put it on your website. Or if you have a web developer, you can just give him the code and then he'll put it on his website. So that way, all those opt-ins will start coming automatically into Rainmaker for you. All right, so I'm going to show you where we go to build these web forms. So on the top toolbar, we come up to Settings, and then we click on Web Forms right here. And with a web form, you're going to want to make one for every single page of interest that you have. So if you have a page that's for your kids martial arts program, we'll want to make one for that. If you have one that's about an adult kickboxing program, we'll want to make a separate one for that as well, because we want to give these web forms different tasks. We want to say when they're coming over into Rainmaker, hey, if they opted in on my adult kickboxing page, we're going to give them a tag. So we're going to tag them as adult kickboxing. That way they get our correct flows on our emails and tasks to our employees, but also making sure that we're sending them to the correct sign-up page after they opted in, so where they're getting this special for the adult kickboxing trial and not the kids martial arts trial. Okay. So to make the web form, after you went to Settings, Web Form, you're just going to click right here on Add New Form. Okay. The next thing that we do is go ahead and give this web form a title. So I like to just give it wherever I'm placing it on my website. So I'm going to go ahead and say website, and then I'm going to say, kids martial page. If everyone can please, mute, so that way it doesn't interrupt anything, that'd be greatly appreciated. All right, so right there on the description, I just put website, kids martial arts page, and then tag. So if I have someone opt in on this form, I can choose a tag that I want to give them. So in one of our previous trainings, we talked about tags. And so, to make one for every single page on your website. All right, so I have one here, a tab that I made called website, and I said Kids MA for kids martial arts. So I'm going to check that on. So that way, anybody who comes through on this web form, they're going to get that tag. I automatically know they're interested in that particular program. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose what I want to ask on that opt-in form. So I have these, these fields right here that I can choose to ask for. Now, the rule of thumb when you're asking for different information on your opt-in form is to ask for the least amount of information as possible. Okay, the more information that you ask for, the less amount of people that will opt in. Now, of course, the more that you ask for, the more of a quality lead that you have, but that same person would have still opted in with the low amount of information, as opposed to the person who might have not opted in if they saw all that different information that they had to put in. So always just choose the least amount that you want. So I always, decide to go with, if you're going to do anything, do it in this order of operation, and then keep adding on until you say, okay, I'm, completely fine with just that amount of info. So the very first thing that I would, ask for over anything is their email address. After email address, ask for their first name. After first name, ask for their cell phone. And then after first name, or after cell phone, ask for last name. So those personally are the max that I would ask for. But if you want to, ask also for a home phone and, their address, you can do that as well. And so after you have selected which fields that you want to ask, what you will then come over here and do is select if you're going to be asking this on step 1, step 2, or not used. So to explain that with steps, so sometimes there's an opt-in form that might say, hey, we're going to ask, just for their name, their phone number and their email, and then they click a next button, and then it goes to another page where it asks more information. Okay, that's a 2-step web form. So if you want to make it 2 steps where they give a little bit of information and then they click next and give you more information, you can do that. You just say, with that field, do you want to ask it on step 1 or do you want to ask it on step 2? I recommend just keeping everything on just 1 step. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do on this. So everything that I'm asking for, I'm keeping it on step 1. Anything that I'm not asking, I'm just changing this to not used. So I'm going to go through and do that right now. Everything that I want to ask is going to be step 1. Everything I don't want, I'm going to put to not used. And then I can choose also if I want to make that field required. So I can be asking for first name, last name, email, and phone number, but I can choose, on the mobile phone number to not make it required, so that way it will submit without it. So if you want to do that, you can. So I'm going to make everything required that I'm asking for, and I'm just going to uncheck everything that I'm not asking. Just go through that real quick. And so there we go. So I'm asking for first name, last name, email, and cell phone. All those questions are going to be on step 1, and all those questions, I'm going to make them, each one of those required. Now we also have this little offer section. So it can be a drop-down box if you'd like to add that on your web form. It could be having them select something that they're interested in. Maybe might be a bullying seminar, or some weight loss tips, anything like that. So if you want them to choose an offer, you can also select that on and put what step and make it required. And this is where you list your offers. So you put the title of the offer. That's what's going to say above the drop-down box for them to select which one. Everything you put down here in the different offers is going to be the selection that they choose for which offer they want. And then what we'll do is we'll choose to give them a flow tag, which we'll be going actually over that next week, talking about tags and flow tags. So flow tag simply would just start an automation of emails, text messages, or tasks to employees. So for example, the 10 ways to build children's self-esteem, we can make an automatic flow that sends them emails. So if they chose this particular offer, it would give them that flow tag to start that flow, and they would start getting all that information. All right, so me personally, I'm not going to ask for them to choose any offers. And I'm just simply going to ask first name, last name, email, and phone number. Next, we have age groups in Rainmaker. So if you want to have it automatically assign them into an age group or have them choose, you can do that here. So if I have let them choose, then what it's going to do is it's going to display all 4 of your age groups, and then they choose which one they want, which one is them, and then they hit submit, and it'll give them that age group. All right. Now with this is my kids' martial arts page, and so I'm just going to put them in the correct age group they should be if they're coming in on my kids' martial arts page. So I'm going to go ahead and click kids, and that way they'll automatically get my kids' age group tag there. All right, next right here we have the redirect. All right, so after they have submitted their information, their first name, last name, email, and cell phone, what website page do I want to send them to? So this right here is where we want to put that website URL of our profit generator that we made on that trial. And that's what we went over on last week's training, making those profit generators. So if you missed that, just check out the website that I had. It's admembers.com/Rainmaker Guru. And it'll have all those previous webinars on there. And then you can be able to click which one and watch that. So all you do is just paste that that profit generator in there. And so you want to make it specifically for that program. So if it was kids martial arts, put that there. Now, if you were doing a 2-step web form, which we were only doing everything on step 1, but if you were doing a 2-step web form, then you would put that redirect to your website down here. Now, here's a little tip that I've noticed on these web forms. So sometimes there can be some security settings on people's web browsers. So it's usually a good thing to do whenever you're putting in a website like this to add in an S here at the end of the HTTP, and it'll get a lot more success rate there. So that's a little tip. Next thing, we have an autoresponder email. So if you want them to get an email right after they opted in, go ahead and put the subject of that email here, put in the body. You can put in pictures, links, all that stuff right in there. So that'll make sure they get an email as soon as they opt in. Next, you have the results. So if you want to be emailed or if you want to be texted as soon as you get a new opt-in just to notify you, go ahead and put in the email address you want to be notified at, and you can put in multiple. You just got to separate them with by a comma with no space. And then also same thing for the text message. Just put in the phone number that you want to be texted to, to update you that you got a new opt-in, and separate that by comma with no spaces as well. So once you're done with that, all you have to do is hit create form and save, and then that'll go ahead and give you the code so you can put it on your website. So I clicked that, and so here's the code here. So if I want, I can just copy this line of code here, and I can paste that into a message or an email, or if I'm making it myself, go ahead and paste that code onto my website. An easy way to send it to your web developer is just put your web developer's email address in right here, and then click send email, and it'll send them this code so that way they can put that in. Now the code that it gives you here, this is our basic web form. So this is, there's no styling to it at all. So this is something for a web developer to make sure that all the questions that it's asking, they can design it to flow with your site. Now, if you do want to add styling to it yourself using Rainmaker, we do have some templates that you can use, and I'll show you how you can select those. So what we would need to do if we wanted to add our own style to it is we would go back to where we had created the web form by going to settings here at the top toolbar and clicking on web forms. Once this page loads up, we'll look for that web form that we just created, and we'll click on that to open it up, and then it'll give us an option to add a style to it. It should pull up here any second. Okay, so this shows all your web forms that you currently have. And then what you do is you just click on the view and edit part down here to be able to go in and edit that form. So let's see, probably got it down here at the bottom. Yep, website kids martial arts page. So I'm gonna click view and edit this form. And just to let you know also, it gives you stats on this as well. So when people submit and go from trials to members, money made, all that, it collects all that data for you. So view and edit this form. I'm going to come down to the very bottom. The very bottom, I'm going to have this blue button here to add a graphical style to the web form. I just click on that. And then it's got these different styles that I can choose from here. And so I can also choose the size of it between 220 pixels to 300 pixels wide. So once you find one that you want, just click Set Style on that. And so it'll show you your web form, how it would look with the available fields that you asked for. And then all you do is simply copy this code here, and you would put that on your website. Now, you don't have to have that long piece of code that you put in before. If you add a graphical style, then the only piece of code you need on your website is just this little piece of JavaScript right here, and that's it. So I hope this helps teach you how to make those web forms so that way you can put those on your website so you can have all those leads coming in automatically into Rainmaker, and then also have them organized so we can then follow up with them correctly by sending them the right flows or sending them to the right profit generator to sign up for the trial. Does anybody have any questions about these web forms?
So we need a web form for each page we want to use?
Yes, sir. Correct. So on your website, if you have a separate page for your kids martial arts versus adult martial arts, then you want to make one for each one of those pages.
Okay.
So that we know exactly what they're interested in when they came in. Because if we don't do that, when they, if we just have one web form and we put it within general spots and just paste it all over the website, when they came into Rainmaker, we would have no idea what they're interested in.
Okay, so I want to have a page that has a referral after they say thank you. They can go to a referral page and make a referral. So I make a separate web form for that and a page, right?
One more time for me. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, when a guy signs up and does his work, and then it comes to a thank you page.
Mm-hmm.
I also have a link on the thank you page that takes them to a referral page if they want to make a referral for their friend. So
understood.
Okay.
Yes, you could. Yeah, you could do it there as well. Make a separate one for referrals.
Okay, and then just one little comment is when using this website lead form, some themes don't get along with this, so you got to watch out because it'll not allow the full text to show in the window. So if you see that, then it's got to be a different theme.
Yes, yeah. Every website's going to be a little bit different with what's going to go in, what's not.
Right.
Now, typically, it'll be situations that we've seen before, and we'll know exactly how to help you out with it. So if you ever run into those kind of situations, let support know. Like, for example, there's a website builder, Wix. And so Wix doesn't like sending somebody from their website to a completely other website. So in our web form, when we're having them opt in, and then after they submit it, we're trying to send them outside and go to a profit generator to purchase the trial, it was redirecting them inside that little opt-in box, and it wouldn't go outside of it. So we found a little code that you can add to it on a Wix website that'll make sure that it'll break out of that box and go to a whole new page for you. So there might be some situations that we've seen before that we can guide you on a little simple thing to add in that'll help you out.
Yeah, I talked to the support, and they said I had to use a different theme to get by that. So whatever that meant.
Understood. All right, anyone else have any other questions at all on these web forms? How to build them, how to make them, what to ask for, anything? All right, going once, going twice.
Good stuff, sir. Thank you.
Good. All right. Hey, I hope everybody does amazing with their holiday sale coming up here. Hope everyone's Black Friday went awesome. And then I will see you then, I guess our next Monday will be Cyber Monday. So I'll see y'all Cyber Monday. It looks like our next one that we'll be going over is flows. So I'll be looking forward to doing that. So the flows will be a great piece to learn. That's going to help us getting these prospects to trial members, because we might have had them opt in, but when they went to our registration page for our trial, they might not have registered. And so in that case, we want to hit them up with different emails, maybe some tasks to some employees to follow up with them to get them converted to over the trial or get them in for, our, a class or orientation, whatever it is that you might do. Okay.
Excellent, sir. Fantastic job. Guys, I'm going to stop the recording.